You're listening to the Back Porch Talk podcast. Danny and Jason had many discussions and debates on the back porch while making pivotal investment moves with assets. That's right, with trading cards. They welcome you to the back porch and right into those discussions about current sports news with a fresh and unique twist. So come on and join us. Welcome to the Back Porch Talk podcast. I'm your co-host, Jason.
Your co-host, Danny.
And yeah, I know what to do. Go ahead and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Let the algorithm. A little NFL talk, a little NBA talk. Danny, right into the NFL, and where, man, this past weekend was a hard weekend for the NFL, and I would say for Chiefs fans, for Packers fans. Patrick Mahomes goes down with an ACL injury. Will obviously be out for the rest of this season, possibly into next season. They ended up losing 16-13 against the Chargers, officially bouncing out the Chiefs of playoff contention. And we can go over the stats and everything. I think the more important thing is Mahomes in his ACL. What is going to do for this current iteration of the Chiefs? The Chiefs dynasty, is it over? There's some eerie similarities to, Tom Brady, where he busted his ACL.
Mm-hmm.
And then ultimately he had what? I think he had at the point in time where he messed up his ACL, he had 3 rings. Travis Kelce, this may be the end of his career this season, and that could have been a last pass thrown by Patrick Mahomes to Kelce. Chiefs takes the L. Another hard injury is that of Michael Parsons of the Green Bay Packers, and where, man, as soon as it happened, I was like, man, please don't let it be. But it is. Torn ACL for Michael Parsons. He's done for the season. Could miss time, obviously, into next season. The Packers, in my opinion, had this game in the first half. They kept doing field goals instead of touchdowns. I think that was to their demise. Yep. They needed to stack the points. And ultimately, they lose on the road 34-26 to the Denver Broncos. Jacobs had a great, good game, 12 carries, 73 yards, a touchdown, also had a touchdown reception. And so this puts the Packers into the 7th position. Even though they have a great record, they're now the 7th playoff seed in the NFC, and they have a big game against the Chicago Bears this coming Saturday, where the Chicago Bears are actually number 1, 2 seed. So this is going to be a pivotal game on Saturday. I'm just going to be real, Danny. I'm not expecting the Packers to win on Saturday. I'm really not. I had already going into this season in my mind that the Packers were going to split the season series against the Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might end up happening, especially now with the injuries. And then also another pivotal injury was to Watson. He went up for a long pass, fell on his shoulder. Seems to be a chest injury. He avoids significant injury, but nonetheless, we don't know if he's going to play or not on Saturday. And so there's a whole lot happening for the Packers. And again, they go into Soldier Field on Saturday to face off against the Chicago Bears. Another game of note here, Danny, on my end would be that of I'm just going to say the Ravens and the Bengals. Why, you ask? Because the Bengals practiced this whole week and scored 0 points. 24-0, the Ravens prevail. They go into I think a tie for first, and nonetheless, man, they beat up on the Bengals. And then another game of note here is that of the Bills and Patriots. Bills come from 21 down, and they ultimately beat the Patriots in New England 35-31. New England is a good team. You haven't heard too much about them, but they are 11-3. That's going to be an interesting team to watch in the playoffs, Danny.
Hmm.
Very interesting team. Another game of note, I gotta say this is the last one, Danny, is that of the Lions and Rams. Sticking with the NFC, Lions and Rams. Rams prevail 41-34. They help us out in the division. This the overall seed is going to, really hurt us, but a good game. What say you about the NFL weekend?
First, Jason, I want to give a shout out to the Atlanta Falcons. Playing for nothing on Thursday night. This is a while ago now, it seemed like.
Hmm.
But we're playing spoiler against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where on Thursday nights, and the Falcons actually came from behind in the fourth quarter, Jason. They're down 14 and came back to win 29-28. Kirk Cousins threw for 373. Bijan had 108, 170 plus yards, a touchdown, all purpose yards. Kyle Pitts had 3 touchdowns. It was a great game actually to watch in the fourth quarter in particular. Uh, Before that, the Falcons committed 19 penalties, actually 22, but three were declined. So for them to win that game, it just they showed some fight. And I know they have Arizona coming up, but Tampa Bay is tied with Carolina, who fumbled the ball on Sunday by losing to the Saints. So now Carolina and Tampa Bay played two out of the next three games for the division, and whoever wins the division goes to the playoffs. The other team will be going home. And then the Steelers win last night, so Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers take a lead on the Ravens in that tight race in their in the AFC North. So it's coming down to the wire, Jason. Quick preview for this coming upcoming week, Jason. You already called out the Packers and Bears on Saturday night. Thursday night is Rams and Seahawks, and then like I mentioned, Tampa Bay, Carolina play. Ravens, Patriots, Lions, Steelers. There's Broncos, Jaguars. The Jaguars are getting hot. It's so there's a ton of matchups that are key and pivotal for the playoff push. And then we'll see how some of these teams respond, man, coming into week 16.
Now, let me just say something about the Colts with old man Philip Rivers coming back. Now, there were some who would say there are other backup quarterbacks who are ready and able to play instead of Philip Rivers. And let me just say, I am one to agree. I'm one to agree, man. Philip Rivers have played in like what 4 or 5 years, 4 or
5 years.
5 years, and but you have some backup quarterbacks who are maybe out on a market, available on a market who played last week or has played this season.
Hmm.
I'm just thinking, even though Philip Rivers appeared to have a decent game, let's just say that that's because there was a whole lot of tape on him. Now, decent, he had 120 yards, 18 for 27, one touchdown, one interception, one sack for 2 yards. Let me just say this, Danny. What I'm concerned with is the tape is going to show that Phillip Rivers can't move.
Hmm.
Defenses are going to just, go in on him, get
Hmm.
him off his spot, etc. I don't want anybody to get hurt.
Yep.
That screams that somebody might be getting hurt. So we'll see. What say you about the Colts and the Phillip Rivers?
Uh, Jason, I think one thing of note with him, though, was he knows the offense. And like they reported, he runs the offense at his high school, actually. So that was one of the interesting twists to this. And he's close with the head coach. And when you watch him play, though, if you remember his last few games, because he played with the Colts, right? And at the end, he didn't look much different. He just looked, his body has changed, obviously, because he's, not in NFL shape. But what they're asking him to do and to lean on Jonathan Taylor, and he's a dink and dunk type. That's what he's doing anyway. Before he retired, so he wasn't really a down the field type thrower or passer, I should say. If he can survive Seattle's defense, so kudos to the offensive line for protecting him because Seattle's defense is wicked. So you gotta give a shout out to their offensive line. And two, if they're asking him just to manage the game, I think he'll be fine. And we'll see, man, because I'm number one Kyle Shanahan hater, so I'm pulling for the Colts on Monday night for what he did to us in the Super Bowl back in the day with Atlanta. So I'm always pulling for the 49ers to lose. So I'm hoping that and it sounds like he's gonna start. He's starting this week. He never was a scrambler anyway. He's a pocket passer, and you collapse the pocket, they're done. But if the offensive line can stand up like it did last week and keep him clean for the most part, he'll be all right. So we'll see, man. I was a little nervous for him going in, but he once he got his bearings, he saw he doesn't have an arm either. He does no arm. His arm has nothing. But if he can dink and dunk and they can keep the game close, because they should have won the game technically on Sunday. They blew it at the end, but we'll see because it's for playoff. It's for the playoffs to keep them actually in the hunt.
And now, Danny, into a little NBA, where tonight is the NBA Cup final. I want to say this is the third season in the NBA Cup. Lakers won, our Milwaukee Bucks won, and then now we'll see who wins in between the San Antonio Spurs and New York Knicks. And the NBA Cup, I don't know. I don't know, Danny. The verdict is still out for me on this one, but the New York Knicks on Saturday beat the Orlando Magic in the semifinal 132 to 120, and the San Antonio Spurs beat the OKC Thunder, handing the OKC Thunder only their second defeat of the season, 111 to 109. Danny, this is going to be an interesting battle. I'm leaning towards the Knicks on this one because of the experience, but stranger things have happened. And let me just say this about the NBA Cup, Danny.
Yeah.
This was, again, an attempt to make something out of the regular season, to put a little pizzazz in the regular season, especially at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And all the talks that I've heard from former NBA players has been to really fix the regular season, especially starting off, you need to have a longer training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Longer training camp so that way the players can get into shape. They have less injuries, and you'll see more competition at the very beginning of the season. I tend to agree. I remember back in the day where training camp was at least 3 weeks, maybe a full month,
Yes.
2 a days, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Preseason, a little bit longer, whatever the case may be. I think you do need to have a longer preseason.
Mm-hmm.
If anything for this season has indicated to me is that you need a longer training camp so the players can get in shape instead of playing the games to get into shape.
Yep.
To me, the NBA Cup is something of a like back in the day, ABA,
Mm-hmm.
where some bells and whistles were put in place to make the game better. I think this is some bells and whistles to make the regular season look better. So I will say it's going to be interesting tonight in tonight's competition. And let's just say this, Danny. According to AI, the money breakdown per player, the champion will get $530,000, $530,933. The runner-up would get $212,373. Semifinalists, $106,187. Quarterfinals, $53,093, and that's again per player
Mm-hmm.
at those various rounds. And so, let me just say, the NBA Cup, I think it's going to be here to stay. It's interesting how this final game doesn't count towards the standings at all.
Yep.
What say you, Danny, about the NBA Cup?
It is an interesting matchup, Jason. I was expecting OKC to be here facing the Knicks, which could possibly be an NBA Finals preview, possibly. But the Spurs made it. They came back on OKC on Saturday night, and it'd be nice to see Wemby in this type of game. And it's more. It's not a playoff game per se, but it does have a little something to it, right? So that's where I think it'll be good to see. People really don't tune in technically to the NBA until Christmas. And now with NFL having a seat at the table on Christmas, they had to figure something out to try to draw some interest and say the players are playing, playing hard and for something. So we'll see what happens tonight. I'm gonna check the game out. I hope it's a good game. I'll check. I always like to watch Wemby though, so because he's and then Brunson, I like their game too.
And I think that having Wemby in there and the New York Knicks, I'm just wondering about the ratings of this game. Of course, New York Knicks being in the largest market.
Yep.
Probably matching up with LA, but I'm just wondering how the ratings are going to do, especially it being on, I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Correct.
So I'm just curious. Maybe we do that for the next show. Look at the ratings, et cetera, of the NBA with this new format.
Yeah, I thought it would have been on NBC. That would have been, I thought, the format for it or the station for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what contractual obligations the NBA has with Amazon for this game. So we'll see.
We'll see. Thank you for joining us at Back Porch Talk Podcast. You can also join us on Twitter by tweeting us at @back_podcast. For more information, you can go to our website, which is backporchtalkpodcast.com. You can also email us at backporchtalkpodcast@gmail.com. Again, thank you for joining us, and remember that there's enough hate in the world, so go ahead and spread a little love.